OLED burn-in. No one wants to see it on their OLED TV, which is why there are so many anti-screen burn measures on modern OLED televisions, ranging from screensavers and logo detection auto-dimming to pixel refresher compensation cycles which happen automatically in standby or can be triggered manually from the user menu. Now, new for 2022, LG Display, the panel manufacturer who supplies all the WRGB OLED panels found on almost every OLED television on the market today, has harnessed its knowledge on how to prevent OLED burn-in to produce a next-generation OLED panel that's up to 30% brighter and thinner than conventional OLEDs, which the South Korean brand is marketing as its OLED EX technology. So, how did LG Display manage to turn weakness into strength, failure into success? Let me explain. According to LG Display's pre-CES press release, one of the ingredients of the new OLED EX panel is the substitution of hydrogen with deuterium. But as far as we know based on interviews with Korean analysts, deuterium was already used in last year's WBE panels, otherwise commonly known as EVO panels among videophiles, even though OLED EVO is strictly speaking a trademark of LG Electronics, which I must remind you is a separate entity from LG Display. To recap, deuterium is also known as heavy hydrogen, packing twice the atomic mass of normal hydrogen. Deuterium-based OLED emitter compounds will be more stable and heat-resistant than previous hydrogen-based compounds. To give you an analogy, once you've downed 10 mince pies and 2 pints on Christmas Eve, it is going to be more difficult to displace you from the sofa. As a result, deuterium-based OLED compounds can deliver up to 20% higher candelas per ampere, meaning that with the same amount of electrical current, the measured luminance or light output would increase by up to 20%. Or, another way of taking advantage of this improved luminance efficiency is by maintaining the same level of light output, but use less electrical current to do so, therefore prolonging the lifespan of the OLED panel. Now, this 20% improvement in efficiency had already been announced by LG Display at the beginning of 2021 and implemented on WBE panels found on last year's LG G1 with OLED EVO technology, the Sony A90J Master Series OLED, as well as Philips' flagship OLED Plus 936 with Bowers & Wilkins speaker bar. To unlock an extra 10% and reach a total of 30% brightness increase over conventional OLEDs, LG Display decided to use machine learning to refine its pixel compensation algorithm, which was originally designed to prevent OLED burn-in. To explain, OLED pixel circuits contain TFTs, capacitors, and various metallic lines, of which some sensing lines would detect the amount of OLED pixel degradation for subsequent compensation. By using machine learning to analyze individual viewing patterns, the compensation algorithm can now predict the degree of OLED pixel degradation in advance, allowing LG Display to remove some sensing lines, resulting in a higher pixel aperture ratio. For those of you who don't know, pixel aperture ratio is the proportion of a pixel that can light up. If you look at these macro shots of the subpixels on similarly sized OLED televisions from different model years, the smaller the black area between the lit subpixels, the higher the aperture ratio, which brings at least 2 benefits. 1. Because a larger area within the same pixel size can be illuminated, a higher luminance efficiency can be achieved, which means the OLED pixels can get brighter without needing an increase in electrical current or a decrease in OLED lifespan. And 2. A higher pixel aperture ratio also paves the way for narrower bezels, since the pixels can be placed closer to the edge following a trimming of the non-lit areas. With this in mind, hopefully you can now understand how the new OLED EX technology from LG Display also contributes to a 30% reduction in bezel thickness, dropping from 6mm to 4mm on a 65-inch OLED panel. As for the brightness enhancement brought about by OLED EX, note that the quoted 30% increase is using conventional OLED displays as the baseline, i.e. WBC panels with a full field luminance of 150 nits. A 30% increase on 150 nits will bring us close to 200 nits on full screen white. But please bear in mind that you may not actually get this level of full screen luminance on 2022 OLED televisions, because it is up to the individual OLED brands to decide how best to utilize the improved luminance efficiency of OLED EX panels, whether they want to drive the panel harder to deliver higher brightness and more impactful HDR, or ease it back a bit to prolong OLED lifespan. By now, you would probably want to know which 2022 OLED television will have the new EX panel from LG Display. Unfortunately, the answer is not clear-cut at all, because fundamentally, OLED EX is a branding by LG Display, but the top-tier OLED brands generally don't like admitting to using the same panel, preferring instead to use their own trademark and marketing to differentiate their products from rival models. That's why it is highly unlikely that you will hear LG Electronics, Panasonic, Philips, or Sony publicly advertising that they are using the new OLED EX panel on their 2022 OLED televisions. Of course, I will be able to confirm one way or another once I run my own tests and measurements on a review sample. But since I'm an impatient sort, they call me 2-minute Theo after all, I emailed my contacts at LG Electronics, Panasonic, Philips, and Sony to try and find out which of their 2022 OLEDs will be using the OLED EX panel. But before I share their response, I would like to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Since the pandemic started, some streaming providers, including Netflix, have throttled the bitrate of certain shows, especially in Europe, resulting in a softer picture with more compression artifacts. This is where a VPN comes in. Surfshark allows you to stream content from another country without needing you to be physically there, so you can watch Netflix at higher bit rates with better picture quality. You can also get more content that is not available in your region, perhaps the US Netflix library, which contains more movie titles. For less than the price of a Big Mac per month, you can use Surfshark on as many devices as you want in your household, all at the same time. There is 24/7 live customer support, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and if you use promo code HDTV you will get 83% off and 3 extra months free. So sign up today and give Surfshark a try. I will put the link in the YouTube description below. Thanks again for your support. Okay, so this is LG's official response to my question. OLED EX is a new brand from LG Display. While every company can use the same OLED technology, it is LG's experience and know-how which makes LG OLED Evo better. That is how we complete the LG OLED Evo's ultimate picture quality, by using the Alpha 9 Gen 5 AI processor and LG's own picture algorithms. It is these technologies that set LG Evo apart from other OLED manufacturers. As for Sony, this is what they say. We do not disclose detailed information about panel devices. At the time I filmed this video in January 2022, Panasonic and Philips haven't got back to me regarding the presence of EX panels on their OLED TVs, but once I hear back from them, I will post an update on Twitter or in the YouTube description below. Regardless of whether a 2022 OLED TV uses the new EX panel or not, there are many other features which may affect your purchase decision. I've done a video comparing the important features of key OLED models from LG Electronics, Panasonic, Philips, and Sony this year, so go watch it here.